Hey everybody, Sean here again from BoredParacord.com and also Paracord.com, and today I want to show you something that Brian Carter has brought to the groups and on Facebook. Showed this off a couple weeks ago and finally getting around to making it for him. I told him I would. He said that this is an embroidery stitch that he found called the herringbone stitch, and we're going to do this on top of a regular Cobra. So to do the regular Cobra, it's the most basic design you can do as far as bracelets go, and I'm just going to do a basic black, and then we're going to use red microcord over top of it to do that herringbone stitch. So what I've got here, I've got about 9 feet of black, and I've already flattened the ends so that I can get them through my buckle. Actually, I didn't have to do that because I use a different method on getting the cow's hitch started. So I find my center point here, and what you want to do is you want to find the bigger end. So most buckles have one side that's got a little bit bigger opening than the other side. In this case, it's over here. Let me just focus this. I don't know if I was focused yet. So you're going to find your center point here, and you're going to kind of fold it so that you can get it up through the buckle. So you want to go from the back side, and you want to go through the back side, and then all you're going to do is loop this over the buckle and pull it tight. And I've got a light bulb that keeps flickering on me, so if you see it flickering, that's why. I'm sorry about that. So that's how you do your cow's hitch. If you want it to look this way, which I thought I was doing it that way, you just flip your buckle over and go and put your loop down through the bottom and then loop it over the top. But that's the basic cow's hitch. That's how you attach your paracord to one end. So I'm just going to flip the buckle over and bring the paracord all through my fingers. And I've got my flattened ends here, so I guess it did help, because I do have to go up through the bottom of the buckle here and pull the cord through. And this is just going to give me, oh, get caught there. This is just going to give me my basic shape of my bracelet, which are these 2 loops here. Real easy. So that's your basic shape. Now you want to open the buckle and you want to set it up just like this. So you have your left cord that's coming up through the buckle off to your left, and the right one off to your right. You have one buckle with your cow's hitch down at the bottom, and then the other working ends that are coming up through, they're at the top here. And let me see if I got my tape measure. You know, this is a Lufkin. I don't even think that brand exists anymore. My grandfather gave me this, and I want to do about an 8-inch bracelet, maybe a little shorter, so we're just going to shorten this up a little. The spot you want to measure is from this edge here. This is the female end of the buckle, and you want to go to the ledge right where my finger is at. So the stuff that I'm covering up with my finger, you do not want to measure that. And hold on, I got this light bulb that is flickering on me. Let's see if I can, I don't know what's going on with that. So you want to measure right to that ledge. Alright, I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see it a little better. Now you've got your left cord and your right cord. You can start with either side. Just remember that this cord always stays on the top and the other cord always stays on the bottom. So you want to create a loop here and cross the left cord over top of your 2 center strands right here. The right cord crosses over that left cord, and it goes behind and then up through that loop on the left. Just like that. So you should have something that looks just like this. So a left cord over top, the right cord underneath and through. And this one you want to tighten right up to your buckle, and then take a second measurement just to make sure, because once you go past this step, you're kind of stuck with it. And if you want to change the length, you have to undo it. So I just want to double check this real quick, and yeah, we're about right there. It's not an exact science for me. Okay, so now we have the left cord is now on the right, and that's the one that always goes over the top. So you're always going to take that one over the top, and then it's going to switch sides each pass. So you're going to end up with something like this as the bracelet goes along. So this cord is always going to go over the top. The one that you took behind is always going to go behind. And after each pass, it switches sides. So it was on the left, now that cord is on the right. So you create your loop on the right. The over top cord goes off to the left. The left cord crosses that one, and that one always goes behind and then up through the loop. and pull it tight. Now you don't want to pull this one too tight because we have to get a fid through there, and the tighter you pull it, the harder you got to push that fid through. Okay, so now we start on the left side this time. You're always going to start on the opposite side you started last. So left side, right side over the left, around the back, and through that loop. And pull it tight. Right side now, over the top, left cord over, around the back, and through. And we're just going to do this. This is the most basic one that you can do. This part should probably only take you about 7 to 10 minutes. I would say less than that if you're really experienced. You can get one of these done real quick. But this isn't the part of the bracelet that I wanted to show you. I just wanted to give you the basic guideline for this part, and then I want to show you the stitched part of it. So I'm going to break away, finish this up, and then I will be right back, just so that I can show you how to do the stitched part. I didn't want to take up a whole lot of your time, but I will get to it right now. Alright, so I finished up this bracelet. As you can see, I've already cut and singed these ends. This is where the extra paracord came off on both ends. And just so you know how to do it, if you haven't done one of these before, you cut the paracord off right here as close to the bracelet as you can on both sides, and then you heat it up and use a smoothing tool while it's still liquid to smooth over that edge. Gives you a real nice smooth finish on there. Now, in order to get this microcord, and I've got about 6 feet, I hope it's enough, I think it's enough, it's going to be real close. I've got about 6 feet of microcord. Now, the fid that I'm using is made for 550 cord. Microcord is what's called a 125 cord, because it's 125 pounds. Also called microcord, probably better known by microcord. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a piece of 550 cord and I'm just inserting it into the fid like you normally would with 550 cord. So this is just getting screwed in here. And my light is messing up on me again. And then what we're going to do is melt these together and melt them as if you were to fuse 2 pieces of cord together. So just grab both ends in one hand and you're going to melt these. You want to be really careful and really fast because it can be kind of tricky with this microcord. So I'm going to melt the 550 first, get that nice and liquid, and then we're going to get this little liquid at the end of this one too. And while they're both liquid, you can stick these together and just let them dry. You don't want to mess with it too much unless you're going to do this and squish them together. Alright, now those are fused together. It'll take quite a bit of force to pull them apart. It's not the best joint ever, but it's tough enough, plenty tough enough to do what we need to do here. So, what we want to do to start, basically we're going to kind of zigzag back and forth, and there's quite a few passes on this one. So, the first thing you want to do, let's see, where can we start? We're going to start, I think, right here. We're just going to go down through this first loop, and you're going to want to, oh, that's not good. Okay, I got to get this back in here and flatten. Alright, so we'll get this back in, and what I need to do is kind of heat this end up where this microcord is and make it a little smaller, because what's happening is there's a big lump right here and it just got stuck pulling it through the paracord. So alright, we're back in business now. Alright, so you're going to just want to pull all this through until you get right to the end and leave just a few inches out, just like that. Alright, it's good if you just wrap it around the buckle. It'll keep everything out of the way. And we're just going to tie that kind of on there, just like that. Okay. Now, so we went down through this first kind of hump right here. I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see what we did here. Okay, so we went down through the hump. Now what you want to do is go under, right there. Okay, so you went down through, came up, and then you went under this first cord, Now you're going to go back under the opposite way that you just did, while making sure you're going under this cord here. And hopefully we can pull that through again. There we go. Now this first one, just to get it started, is kind of tricky. It's going to look a little funny, this first one here. So we're going to tighten that like that. Alright, now we go across. You're going to take this across from this side and just go down through this loop here. This loop here, we're just going to take our fid right through there, just like that. So you should have a piece that's coming straight across now. Now you're going to go underneath of that piece. Make sure you pull everything tight. So you're going to go under that, and then from the other side, so you went through going this way, now you're going to go through the other way. I hope I'm still in frame. Yep, I am. Okay. And pull that tight. Now when you come through the other way, you just want to make sure you're going over top of that loop there. And you can just pull that tight. And it should be pretty easy to pull tight. Okay. And you're just going to do that same thing each time you go as you're going down. You're not going to pass a hump. So if you come to a hump, you want to go through it. So we'll go to the next side. This one here. Go down through. Pull it tight. You're going to go underneath of that stitch that you just did. Just like that. Make sure you're pulling it tight. And you want to go the opposite way and over top of that last stitch that you just did. There you go. And once you get used to it, you can do these pretty fast. So that's all there is to it. So you're just taking this now across to the other side. Going down through. Pull it tight. Go underneath that stitch. Just like that. You might have to push this up here to get it in between. Just like that. And now from the other side, you're just going to come up through and over top of this stitch here, right here. Now there is an alternative. If you don't want to use a 550 fid, there is what's called a knotting tool, which is this tool here, and inside of there is a microcord fid. It works really well. I would rather show you a way where if you already have a fid that you can use this technique, because a lot of people don't want to buy an extra tool just to do the stitching, but it's always an option. Alright, so there's that one, and you're just going to keep repeating this process till you get to the other side. So I'll do one or two more here. But basically, when you go from this one to the other side, you're going straight through, and then on the return pass, you're going through the other way. You always want to go down through that first stitch, and then we're going to go back through and over top of that last stitch that you just did. And just pull her tight. And that's all there is to it. Hopefully you have enough information to do this. That first one's a little tricky. I think I messed up a little bit on that first one. But once I get this cut and singed, you really won't be able to tell too much because it kind of just blends in with the other one. But like I said, I'm going to finish this up, and when I come back I will show you how to cut and singe the ends. Okay, so we're pretty much done here. Now I do want to point out, let me zoom in on this for you just real quick. When you get toward the end, you will have to worry about these melted ends here. So we have one here and we also have one here. I cannot do another loop because the melted cord comes up through that hump there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this paracord and go right down through the center if I can. It's pretty tight right there. We want to find a spot where we can end this, maybe right here. Because I don't want to end it on the top. I want to take the cord down through a spot and end it. So you really just want to kind of poke it through to the back side. There we go. So you'll have something that looks kind of like that, and then you have the paracord coming up through the back side of it. And I'm going to cut it right there, and then we're going to singe it right to the back of the cord. Now with microcord, you don't want to cut it as close as you can, because you want to have something there that's going to kind of bite when you melt it. And if you cut it real close, you won't have enough cord for you to melt, because what will happen is it'll shrink as you're melting it. I'm just going to melt this real quick, just like that, and then use the smoothing tool to smooth that out real nice and smooth. And that locks it on that side. And on this side, we've already got kind of a knot going on this side, so I'm just going to leave that knot in there and cut it right at the knot. And do the same thing. We're just going to melt this side now real quick. And then use the smoothing tool to kind of tuck it in there. And that is a finished bracelet. I don't know if there's really a name for this one or not, but this is the herringbone stitch on a Cobra weave. And if there's a name, it'll be posted on the title of this. The back side looks just like a regular Cobra. Front side, you've got the stitch that Brian Carter brought into the paracording world. And if you want to stay on top of everything that's going on in paracord, just head on over to the Facebook group. It is facebook.com/groups/paracordon. This is where this was found. I think it was first posted in there. And thanks again to Brian Carter for this one. Great design. And I see he's already come up with a few different variations to it, so I might get those up here pretty soon. But I hope you like it. And until next time, paracord on.